Your Houston Morning News with Matt Patrick continues.
KTRH News Time is 8:17. It is great to have you listening this morning, but what might even be better for me is that we've got him. We've got the Cain train in Houston once again. Herman Cain joining us on Houston's Morning News. Mr. Cain, welcome back.
Matt, it is my pleasure. Happy to be with you.
Wait, you're spending a lot of time in Houston. You must like it here.
I love it here. You kidding me? You got a lot of things I love. First of all, I love the people. Secondly, I love the food. And thirdly, y'all got some money here.
We do, and we'd like to keep more of it, Mr. Cain, so that leads us right into the 999 plan.
Yes.
And Governor Perry, of course, he said to you during the last debate he was going to bump plans, so now you've got a chance to bump a little bit.
Yep.
I'm interested, after you bumped, what do you think of the cut, balance, grow as it compares with the 999? Did you bump up against it?
Well, I like comparing apples and oranges, quite frankly, and the reason is this. He still has only the income base, and yes, we expand the base to include the sales tax piece, and he's trying to make that out as a big negative by saying that you don't want to give Washington another way to tax the people. My response is, have you looked at the 82,000-page tax code lately, where there are 82,000 ways to tax people, and we're going to worry about this one? No. Secondly, his plan, even though it is a 20% flat tax, he does not get the tax rate as low as the 9% because he doesn't expand the base. And thirdly, there will still be the tug of war in Washington over deductions and loopholes. It still leaves that open, and that's going to make it, I believe, turn out to be very similar to the one that we have now.
All right. Now, Mr. Cain, I know you've adjusted your 999. I'll talk a little bit about that. I also have to ask you about the new TV commercial, because I know there's an awful lot of people asking you why it is that Mark Block is smoking a cigarette. And I actually laughed when I got to the end of it. We'll see what your explanation here is in just a moment. Herman Cain, the Cain train, joining us here on Houston's Morning News. We'll get back to Mr. Cain in a second.
Back to Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 8:22. Herman Cain is in the house. Mr. Cain, thank you for your time this morning. We sure appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, Matt. Happy to be with you.
All right, my wife saw the spot. She goes, "Oh, no, he's promoting smoking." And I said, "Nah, I don't think that was the point." And it's certainly getting a lot of talk. And I love the grin that comes across your face at the end of this. If you haven't seen this spot, it's on my blog, KTRH.com, keyword Matt. All right, Mr. Cain, what is that all about?
Okay, one of the themes and one of the expressions that we have in our campaign is let Herman be Herman. When I go out to do a debate, the reason I'm so relaxed is because my staff doesn't wind me up and make me tight. Let Herman be Herman. In that ad, Mark Block, it's basically let Block be Block. He is a smoker, and we let Block be Block. And our whole idea is let people be people. He was not promoting smoking. We know that he smokes. There are other people on my staff that smoke. President Obama smokes. But did they make a big deal out of it? No. It was not intended to promote smoking, not in the least. And somebody even wanted to make a connection between smoking and me being a cancer survivor. My cancer wasn't even in my lungs. It was in my colon.
No, I thought it was a slam at Obama. That's why I laughed, because I really thought that you guys were. I thought it was hilarious.
My reaction when I first saw it, after I started hearing all of the uproar, a lot of people didn't like it, and a lot of people thought it was hilarious. And it really wasn't taking a swipe at anybody. It was simply let Block be Block. That's just the personality of my chief of staff, who is a great guy. And since he was in that ad, I didn't have time to shoot that particular ad because normally I'm in the ads. So we said, well, let Block do it. And so we just simply said, let Block be Block.
So, right. Herman, let Herman be Herman. A lot of people here, being a border state, are asking the question about the electric fence and what you happen to say about that. Is that a let Herman be Herman kind of thing that you were really kidding about it? Because there are some Hispanics, as you know, that are still very upset about that.
Here's what I'm not kidding about. I'm not kidding that we must secure the border for real. And part of securing it will be some sort of fence. I'm not backing down from that. We will use a combination of a fence, technology, and boots on the ground. I mean, we need to secure it. Now, the ones that are offended, it wasn't intended to offend anybody. But then you got to ask the question, did it offend people trying to sneak out of America, or did it offend those trying to sneak into America?
Well, you know, Ron Paul says that fence is going to keep people in.
Well, you know, there are a lot of things that Ron Paul says that, quite frankly, don't compute.
Now,
look, the people that are already here legally, I don't think they were offended by that statement about the fence. The people that aren't here, of course they're going to be offended by it. And so, yes, Lois, that is Herman being Herman. We're not going to build an electrified fence along the entire border. And you're right, it's going to be a combination of three things, and I'm dead serious about that.
Herman, I want to thank you again for taking the time. Obviously, they are taking shots at you. New York Times, CBS poll coming out showing you on top. It is obvious that because you are the guy that is gaining all the attention, you are the guy that is winning in all the polls, you are the guy that they are going to shoot at. We thank you for your time here, Mr. Cain. It is always a pleasure to have the Cain train arrive at the station in Houston. You're welcome here anytime. Please come back soon.
I love it. Thanks a lot for the time.
It is our pleasure. Herman Cain joining us here this morning.